Welcome back, guys, to Clash Royale League Asia as we're covering the Japanese region for today's matches. We've gone through 2 rounds so far, and now we're on to the very last series. We're going to see PONOS once again to see if they can handle it against FAV Gaming. Kind of an unknown standings when it comes to the skill level differences between the 2 teams so far.
Yeah, FAV Gaming last week looked really, really good. PONOS Gaming looked okay.
I mean, they beat Destination Gaming, and Destination Gaming beat Gaming, so it's all over the place when it comes to the power rankings. How can we really keep the one team over the other, just in absolute terms, if we just really can't at this point?
Yeah, so as we see here, we have Mikan, Bouya, Fuchi, and Raiki Jones. I might have made a mistake on my thing here. But yeah, those 3 guys are going to be playing in the 2v2 and the 1v1 game against FAV Gaming. We're waiting to see FAV Gaming's profile here. As you can see, we have RAD, Kentsumeshi, Oz, and Yakitori. Interesting amount of trophies here for these teams.
6.6, 6.4, 6.1 to another 6.4. Means that they're quite good. That's the first indication we get, but talked about the relationship between trophy count to the innate skill level, and the way it pulled off the actual results in competitive play does not directly match. So just take that into consideration when you see the trophy count. It's just the process that, yes, they're good enough to become pro gamers, obviously. But on the opposite end of things, if you see someone with a 4-point-something K for something, you just don't automatically say that, oh, this person's not that good. Maybe I can get something 4.3K, whatever, and I can become pro again. It's not the case. You just have the discipline, the amount of practice, and the way you can strategize against different teams. The one that's the important part to really keep our eyes on here.
Yeah, and today's first set between PONOS and FAV Gaming will be Raiki Jones versus Kentsumeshi. I'm excited for this, but neither of these players have played 1v1.
It's really interesting to see what we can expect out of the players from here, because it's all about first appearances, a first look at what both of these teams can do with these players on the line. And FAV Gaming obviously won their first game against Destination, which we thought was a kind of a weaker team coming forward. Now we're been proven wrong. Them beating Game with changes up, stirring up the entire standings when it comes to competition here in Japan. But FAV Gaming, they won their first one, but they lost against Game with pretty handedly on that one occasionally as well.
Yeah, last week in the first set, FAV Gaming looked incredibly strong. In the second match they played that day, Game with made them look incredibly weak.
Yeah.
And now that we've seen Game with drop to Destination Gaming, there's no way we can make a prediction here.
It wouldn't be the right prediction to go forward with, obviously, because it seems like you can win to one team quite easily, but you lose to another team that you didn't expect just as handily. And now that's all into play, we can't really make a correct prediction about which team is currently better at this stage of the tournament, because everything could change result-wise, you know, as the time goes by.
Yeah, it could also just be the type of decks that each team brings in. Maybe Destination Gaming's decks are just not that good against like PONOS decks, but they're really good against Game with decks.
Sure.
So that could definitely be a thing. The way they play, the decks they bring, could definitely be a reason why we see this rock, paper, scissors style here. And we see an Expo ban from PONOS.
That's niche.
We've seen a lot of Expo bans in Korea.
Against Expo Master, obviously.
Exactly. So it's not a rare card, but 3 Musketeers ban, usually you can do a good job of banning 3 Musketeers by just banning the Elixir collector.
Yeah,
so, interesting choices.
That's definitely on the padding when you talk about just banning Elixir collector is an answer, just to ban out the essentially that kind of a relatively unusable 3 Musketeers with the 9 Elixir it needs to just summon that 3 units down on the field. You can split it, basically have power on both sides, one could say, but definitely Musketeers have been on the power end of things only if the Elixir collector is in place. So, you know, bans it out directly this time around for FAV Gaming with Kentsumeshi, but Raiki Jones feels like the Expo is the one thing that has been troubling him in the past, and whether or not Kentsumeshi is a regular user at the Expo, he feels like the ban is worthy this time around.
Yeah, I know you play a lot of Expo.
I'm a big Expo fan myself.
What type of decks do you easily beat where if we had this global ban system, your
Oh.
opponent would have banned it?
I think Expo goes really bad against the Golem deck, really, because you can just put the Golem right in front of the range where the Expo can cross, and obviously Expo will not be able to kill out a Golem. It's just impossible. It just doesn't have enough damage, and the low damage chart, even with the very fast attack speed, doesn't get it done.
Yeah, but I mean, he's banned the Expo, so his decks must be weak against Expo. So what is Expo strong against? That's what I mean to say, yeah.
Okay, so usually a lot of feeble decks because, you know, from my perspective, obviously I'm not a competitive player. I'm just a casual player who likes to use Expo. But for me, Expo is just good at damaging out. Just if you can get a situation, if you can make a condition to make sure the Expo keeps hitting the tower without getting interrupted, that's the biggest thing. So a person that would use a very lightweight deck, you can wipe it out with zaps, you can wipe it out with arrows, you can wipe it out with fireballs, and all these other spells that can go through to really wipe out all these little menaces, try to just interrupt the time and just kill out the Expo over time. So other than that, I just feel like the Expo really is a really hard one to pull out, especially in competitive play where we see a lot of heavy decks very well pulled off there.
So do you think the Expo ban here is valuable for Raiki Jones, or do you think maybe he should have tried something else? Like,
I mean, the Expo ban can mean multiple things, and it's just, you know, some people ban something where they feel like literally if you have nothing else to ban, you just ban something to make it just of a statement for yourself that, you know, there's no really a ban that I need, and Expo just making of a lower value ban feels like that's the way to go. But, you know, you talk about what Three Musketeers mean at the same time as well, because the 9 elixirs being summoned, you can split onto 2 to 1. That's what most people do with that those cards over there, and it almost serves as the same purpose where it can be easily countered if you can get that right with the Three Musketeers. But when used correctly, it can be a very valuable card. So, you know, once we see a very rich history of Kentsumeshi, maybe using the Expo that we are not aware of, that could be a reason behind the story of that ban coming through for this particular situation.
Yeah, banning Three Musketeers, I feel like that means he's going to go very air heavy. Maybe we're going to see Lava Hound Balloon, because Three Musketeers does kind of clean that up pretty quickly. Very expensive cleanup, but it cleans up.
It's a very heavy duty worker as well when it comes to even the ground units. You talk about Golem, any other supporting units behind it can be wiped away quite quickly by the Three Musketeers if you just summon it at the middle of the ground behind the Golem's defense. And, you know, there's so many ways to utilize that really powerhouse of the Three Musketeers, using it at full force. Could see what that means though once we get the games underway with the first game here. A bit of hellos going for both sides here with Kentsumeshi and Raiki Jones. With Raiki Jones finding a little bit of anger towards a fair handshake there.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't like the idea of spamming emotes before games. Maybe he has auto-mutone when he's playing on the ladder. But we do see Raiki Jones in blue at the bottom, Kentsumeshi red at the top. Goblins, Spear Goblins down, and Ice Golem not really revealing too much of their decks in these early stages.
So really Goblin heavy already. We can see for Kentsumeshi as we see the Spear Goblin and also the Goblin Gang being put into play.
That Mega Minion is going to easily take down the Ice Golem and the Goblin Gang. Bats coming in. Bats. Oh, there we go. Kentsumeshi dropping that balloon with the miner in front, but that Tombstone does happen to drag it all the way across.
Oh, but the problem is the balloon is not taking any damage from the Princess Towers, and really now it's starting to take damage because all the damage was going towards the side of the miner, and does end up putting a drop. The explosion damage with it also, so Kentsumeshi very successful on that first balloon summon.
But Raiki Jones was also incredibly successful with that Hog Rider. He got pretty much every hit possible. I think it was 4 or 5 hits onto that tower. So that tower also isn't looking particularly healthy right now. Both players are kind of injured after this initial kind of footsie time.
Really isn't seeing what they make out of it in a both-way encounter. The Ice Wizard not really looking towards the way of the miner, forcing Raiki Jones to summon that Mega Minion, using extra elixir to get that done.
Not very good there for Raiki Jones. That Ice Wizard ideally would have turned around, but we do get one hit on the Hog Rider. 2, and the bats do manage to take it down, but it has evened this game out just that little bit more.
Oh, balloon on the left side. I think it's still going to be swayed away by the tombstone.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's going straight for the tower.
Oh, the Ice were just trying to slow it down, but the one drop is still not going to be stopped. Second drop. Oh, it doesn't come through. That would have made all the difference there, and still one drop plus an explosion does still a quite amount of damage.
Yeah, that Hog Rider. Hog Rider again getting multiple hits, and the poison might just take that tower down up there.
79 down to 52. That's going to be the final count before we go down. Basically, any type of log even could wipe that away. So that left tower secured now for Raiki Jones, but he has to defend both of his towers that are both in danger at the moment. The King's Tower being unlocked here by the miner, as we see. That log falls short. Yeah, he's not even going to go for it right away. So he's going to look for a later game. Miner coming in, trying to put some damage onto it. Tornado coming in again, only to slow it down, but still going to continue to do damage.
There's the log. That finishes it that time.
So he waited for the overtime. So, wow, what a pesky play coming in. You thought that being heavily damaged on both sides, you would think that you were just going to stall out the time, but the time was over when you got that rotation going. You got that log back to get that free damage. 52 is really much an easy handling for the log in the end.
I feel like he was playing with a little bit of fire there, because with both towers so heavily damaged and that big push coming in, not finishing that tower as quickly as he could could have really hurt him. If that first log had just, taken out the tower, he could have been, okay, so whatever happens now, I'm going to overtime. But leaving it so late, half a second on that deployment of that log could mean the difference between a draw or a loss.
But it also could have been from his defense. Talk about that log, the first log that didn't reach all the way to the tower. It was strictly just for defense. And maybe that one line that could have been ignored just to get the tower under play, that could have been the left tower going down as well. So in his defense, that might have been the optimal way to do it. He knew the rotations were pretty quick since he had a very lightweight tech to work with. Even with trying to how that work around and seeing if that was the answer to go in. And seems like still good enough to get that first win, but very risky play, as you say.
Yeah, with both towers solo, anything is risky. Because that push, if that push had to come on the other side, we might have seen a different result, because there would have been a lot of units there that would have soaked up a lot of the damage, thinned out the push. Maybe they should have just moved onto that side where the weaker tower is. They had that other tower was full health.
Yeah.
They could have risked having a few hits against that, moved their push onto the opposite side, and maybe we'd have seen a different result here. Kentsumeshi maybe should have moved that attack.
Kentsumeshi could have been very successful if all the attack was shifted on one side, but Raiki Jones just focused on one side and one side only, and that turned out to be the difference maker when it came to him winning out. Raiki Jones still angry, supposedly, even after getting that win. So Kentsumeshi scared of his frustration coming through from his opponent.
Yeah, both players just spamming out those emotes at the beginning of the game. I guess it's a way to keep your fingers nice and warm at the very start of the game.
Keep your mentality warm as well. That helps you as well.
I don't know. Someone emoting me in game usually throws me on a bit of a tilt. So if you ever see me in ladder, throw down some of those emotes.
Oh, look at this. Elixir Collector coming for the very first time in today's games. That could mean a heavy deck on the way. Battle Ram going all
such a strong push here.
Okay.
Battering Ram connects. There's the fireball taking out all the
very nice.
So much damage.
There's going to be no defense coming in from the side of Kentsumeshi, and he thought just the elixir, obviously with the elixir being planted, he had to have a defensive strategies on the backup. But you saw all he had was a minion horde. Was easily countered by the fireball.
Yeah, and Kensumeshi's defense here just coming up to that tower and just instantly dying. What a meat grinder.
That's a huge loss right there. That could snowball really hard towards the late game. And now Kentsumeshi really needs to look for a miracle to pull back from this one.
Yeah, Raiki Jones now can just sit back and defend quite a lot here. But these players usually don't defend. They're going to keep going. They're going to push for 2 crowns. They're going to go for 3 crowns. So it's going to be interesting to see the rest of this game. But that tower went down in less than 50 seconds.
Another Elixir Collector. Wonder what he's thinking here.
You can see his teammate in the back. Go, 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 go. You know, you've got this. This is going to do it. Go, go, go. He played that Elixir Collector. Very greedy play, playing that Elixir Collector.
Even that ram coming through. The charge comes through, and that's going to be still more damage being put on there. Even the Fireball collected onto the Elixir Collector, putting out more damage. Not much Elixir planned to be connected here for the side of Kentsumeshi.
Yeah, I feel like Raiki Jones should have had that Fireball connect more on the units and taken this Elixir Collector hit, because the Elixir Collector isn't really doing much for Kentsumeshi at this point in time.
Still making sure, like that golem he's trying to summon now, would be less effective if you knock off the Elixir Collector relatively earlier here.
And there's a battering ram on the opposite side and a Goblin Gang behind it. That's a very strong push in and of itself.
Oh,
Fireball,
nice
perfect fireball.
yes.
But now the minion horde comes in. They're going to get slowed down by that Ice Golem, but there's still a lot there.
But look at this minion horde. Can this be stopped here? It doesn't seem like he has any type of direct counter against it, but taking minimal damage on both sides here. 817 is the core count with one tower already gone. He's been so behind Kentsumeshi. I don't think he's going to come back in 3 seconds. That will be a good game call preemptively, knowing that he was facing defeat ever since that first tower went down.
Wow. What a push. What a deck there from Raiki Jones.
Wow.
Everything in that game went right for him.
It was easy to get startled when you saw the Elixir Collector, knowing that your opponent is planning something very, very huge. But Raiki Jones did not startle at all. He was ready to send in all his units onto one side, knowing that his opponents cannot have a defense that would block all of them. He thought the minion horde, Kentsumeshi, was the answer to all of those units coming forward. But Fireball was ready to knock it off in an instant. Plus one Elixir trade with all those units still coming out with no more defense for Kentsumeshi to work around that.
Yeah, it's so easy as a player to see Elixir Collector fireball it, Elixir Collector fireball it. Everyone gets into this pattern. But Raiki Jones there was just like, no, I'm just going to save it. Let him have the Elixir. I'll take his tower. You know, Elixir Collector is that kind of investment.
It is.
You're going to get more Elixir back by the end, but you are investing your Elixir. If you can have such a heavy push, save that Fireball to defend it, we see what happens.
Absolutely crazy, because we saw 6 Elixir being used, not even in overtime, in the regular 1 times Elixir match. And once you already use a 6 Elixir, you're already down any type of defense opportunities. When your opponents go for all-in push, you already saw what could happen when you give up your minion horde, the 5 Elixirs being used, just barely summoning it out after the Elixir Collector had been summoned. Means that once the minion horde is gone, you have nothing else to defend with.
Yeah, and keeping the Fireball for that minion horde is honestly a great, great move that we don't see enough players really do. Because, as I said, the temptation is there just to get rid of the Elixir Collector.
I agree. That's something I would usually do when I see an Elixir Collector. I throw my rocket down there, throw my lightning down there. I would not even think about, firing back. But that is a creative way to fire back to your opponent who is 6 Elixirs short without really gaining anything initially.
It's just, as I said, everything there went right for Raiki Jones. And he did make one of the best decisions we have seen so far, which is fireballing that minion horde. But we're going to get into the 2v2. That 1v1 is done. It's time for the 2v2. We're going to have Fuchi+mikan bouya versus Yakitori and RAD. We saw RAD quite a bit last week, actually. RAD played both the 1v1s against Detonation Gaming, and he played against GameWith, where we saw him play 4 sets because of that tie. This guy does like his golems.
And golems do play a big part when it comes to the 2v2 matches. You can see that once again, if FAV Gaming feels like the golem is a way back from this defeat that could face if this match did not go to their way, and really could be so. We talked about FAV Gaming impressing us for the first part of week 1, but losing quite handily against GameWith, of course with Shun in that lineup, looking very easy for their opponents to beat them out. But other than that, FAV Gaming, we still thought they were a middle-class team that could put up a fight against most of the teams here in Japan. But now against PONOS Sports, seems like that 1v1 was a struggle for Kentsumeshi to really pull off any type of winning potential against his opponent there.
Yeah, and this is going to completely, if PONOS Sports wins this completely changes the standings that we had coming into today. PONOS Sports was 0-1. FAV Gaming were 1-1, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would expect PONOS Sports to have 1-2. FAV Gaming to take the win here, be 2-1 up. That's kind of what we expected. But Raiki Jones there just took control of that game. And if they can continue that into the 2v2, which we've seen a lot, we haven't really reached that many kind of ace matches in Japan region. It usually finishes set 1, set 2, done.
Really, really clean for all the matches. We appreciate it because we get to run through the progress and really talk about which team is more dominant. We get a better picture of that. But what we don't appreciate is it happens to different teams at different times. We don't know which teams are stronger anymore because we get mixed results of this team beat this team really, really handily. But the next result we come about, the team that lost quite handily wins against a very strong team just as heavily. And we just don't know the kind of the A is greater than B is greater than C. We don't know that formula anymore.
If you'd have told me last week that PONOS Sports could possibly be finishing the same score as Game With,
wow,
I'd probably call you crazy. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I would not expect that at all.
Yeah.
Yet that is definitely the possibility here. They are in such a good position going into this 2v2 that they could end on the same score as Game With.
Game With. They were not supposed to be compared with any other team in Japan. That is what I told you last week, but I have lied to you because now we're seeing very good competition from all the Japanese teams, and that does not exclude PONOS Sports here. We're going to see the bands coming through. We're going to see the Tornado. Very obvious one for most of these 2v2 games. It's going to come from FAV Gaming, but the balloon coming on their side. Now it's becoming a little bit more of a trend to see a little more of the balloon and the Tornado combo coming through bands on both sides.
Yeah, if you're superstitious at all, these same bans happened. Game With versus Detonation Gaming. Game With banned the Tornado, Detonation Gaming banned the balloon, and we know who won that game.
Oh, yeah.
The team who bans the balloon. So this could mean, if you are the superstitious type, my friend, that PONOS Sports is going to take this set.
You know what? Over the 2 weeks that we've casted over the Japanese region, we have not seen a single pattern of anything. We might see the very first pattern if we see PONOS Sports win out this one with a balloon ban. Balloon ban wins you games. Maybe that's the first sign of theory of a pattern we can create here.
You know, I really hope now that that FAV Gaming win this 2v2 and just completely throw any kind of prediction out of the way for the Japanese region.
What does knowledge mean? It doesn't really mean anything.
Predictable is boring.
Oh, come on. Let's talk about information. What is information in 2018? It doesn't mean anything. You know, we try our best to find the best information for you guys so we can at least try to predict what is about to happen, comparing the teams side by side, comparing from A to B to B to C, to see which team is superiorly the better. We try, and we keep trying. Right now, we have no idea. From Japan, you just don't know which team is stronger than the other.
It makes it so much better, though.
It does.
Going into the games, not knowing who is stronger, who is weaker, that makes it so much more exciting. We'll be sitting here on the edge of our seats during this whole game. And we do have 1 minute 30 left of this retinkering period.
We know that this is the beginning of the 2v2 period between these two teams after PONOS Sport did pick out a win against FAV Gaming here on that 1v1. Thanks to Raiki Jones pulling off a very comfortable win against Kentsumeshi. Now we're here in this 2v2. FAV Gaming, I'm sure the only thing they're looking for here is a win on their end of things.
Yeah, look at Rad's stats there. He's played, what, 1 week, 2 games? 3 wins, 2 losses, and a tie.
That's a lot of games.
3-2-1. Yeah, he's played 6 games compared to everyone else who's probably played 4, maybe 5.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Absolutely. So he's had to go through struggles and uphills to get to where he is now, picking up a win for his team and also suffering a loss as well. So mixed results for this FAV Gaming squad so far. They're having mixed results right now. Getting off to a loss against Raiki Jones in that 1v1 means that, you know, losing another one could get them another loss, which would be a 1-2 record that we thought FAV Gaming wasn't represented by.
Yeah, to me, even now, hearing that FAV Gaming might finish 1-2 doesn't feel right.
It doesn't.
From last week, they were like really, really strong.
I agree.
Yeah, they lost to Game With, but Game With looked really, really strong then. But both of these teams Game with loss to Detonation Gaming. We weren't expecting. FAV Gaming going down against PONOS.
It doesn't make sense.
No, what is going on, Japan? Please, calm down. Be predictable. It makes our lives a little bit easier. Less exciting, but easier.
But you know what? This unpredictability of what the Japan region is bringing to us, it just brings about kind of excitement to our every broadcast we cast about this region. It just makes it more exciting to really not have any really answers to what we can go in with. And just the question marks become that much more enthusiastic in the way we can just expect great things from both teams.
It is worth noting here that Yakitori is making his debut now. This is probably his first time under the camera lights, and that could really, really affect a player, especially in 2v2 where communication is key and you see those giant bright lights in your eyes. It can confuse you. Definitely.
For a lot of these teams and a lot of these players, it is their first time ever to be in a competitive pro environment, meaning that they may have played a lot of casual and ranked Clash Royale games, but in a game where it matters and prize money is on the line and the pride of your country and the pride of your team as a nation to represent your country is all the line, it makes a huge amount of difference.
Okay, so as you see, both these teams are starting off with very normal kind of moves. We usually see that Tombstone come out. We usually see the Miner come out, but Mikan, Bouya, and Fuchi, PONOS Esports in the blue at the bottom have played that Lava Hound to slowly push up the top. But RAD and Yakitori have played a Golem and that Inferno Dragon from the top.
The Inferno Dragon's a goner with that rocket right there. The Lava Hound is consistently pushing due to the lack of the Lava Hound there. That's just going to be on the offensive end of things. The Lava Hound on the other end. PONOS Esports is not going to be countered quite as easily. I mean, it's really important for them to somehow find the attack back. Because right now, FAV has taken quite a hit coming from the Lava Hound initially.
Yeah, we can kind of see why that Dark Goblin is so popular in the Japanese region, because it did do a really good job against the Lava Hound and the Lava Pups, taking them out in 2 hits.
And it's interesting to see that the Lava Hound was a choice that PONOS Sports made while banning the balloon. We usually like to see the 2 cards go hand in hand, but now we're seeing one of the key puzzle pieces of the game being knocked off by your own team.
It's probably because they know that a Lava Hound balloon is weak against a Lava Hound balloon. You don't have usually as much air defense when you're playing this Lava Hound balloon deck. Maybe you could throw in a Mega Minion, maybe you could throw in minions, but anything else is usually a little bit too expensive to play with the Lava Hound and the balloon together.
See the Dark Goblin ranging from afar, not going to have much trouble to knock down the rest of this Inferno Dragon here. You see the Lava Hound being summoned twice here. So both players holding the Lava Hound, summoning both now. Becomes twice as difficult to solve here. We know the Inferno Dragon is not going to be answered because he has a rocket ready. PONOS Sport definitely has the defensive end covered. Just trying to see the offense at the other end of things from the side of FAV here. It's 30 seconds left before we get to overtime.
It looks as though FAV Gaming are sacrificing that top right tower for this big push down on the left, but it's not going to be enough. The Golem split really early. Prince drops. Everything is going wrong here for FAV Gaming.
They had the perfect answer. 2 Lava Hounds. The only way we can stop that is the Inferno Dragon, but they already had the answer for the Inferno Dragon by having a rocket ready to go.
This is really well done by PONOS, controlling the pace
my goodness
of that game from the first second. Insane here. Really, really good play by PONOS. We're probably going to have a timeout, I'm guessing, before it's even shown on the screen. I'm going to guess FAV are going to have a timeout.
That's a timeout needed game right there, because the moment they sent out the Lava Hound, you're like, we got the Inferno Dragon, we can take care of this. It's not easy pickings. And it's a 3 elixir trade out, obviously we know with the 7+4. But Rocket was ready to go. And because of that, you know what's going to be happening in timeout. As we predicted, it's definitely happening, because that was a huge blow to the head when you talk about you thought you had the win with the counter, with the Inferno Dragon, but when you get hit by the rocket right away, that's when your mentality goes out.
Yeah, they really need something now. This coach needs to whisper sweet nothings into their ears
Oh, no.
to get them to concentrate, to build up their morale, because they're probably shaken after that game.
Oh, yeah.
That game was such a walkover for PONOS Sports here that, I mean, you can see in Rad's face. We saw it last week. He was all smiles.
Yeah.
Even when he lost to, I think it was Shun.
Sure.
Was it Shun?
It might be.
I can't remember who Rad was playing. Oh, it was against Game With. I'll double check. I think it was Shun.
Yeah.
Even though he lost, he was still all smiles.
Yeah.
Right now, he looks broken.
He looks stressed.
He looks stressed out, yeah.
But you know what it is, though? Fuchi and Mikan Bouya, they were steps ahead in the way they prepared their decks against, RAD and Yakitori. RAD and Yakitori were at stage 1 of thinking, of the thought process. But Fuchi and Mikan Bouya already at stage 2 and stage 3, way past them, already knowing what to do if they figure out a counter to their current deck.
Yeah, it seems that, PONOS Sports are playing chess while FAV are playing checkers.
Exactly.
Here. They were, as you said, always ahead of the game. They knew what was coming out.
Wow.
So you have, as FAV Gaming here, you have to make a change in your decks, right?
This is a little bit off topic here, but I just might try that deck. Lava Hound and Rocket in the same deck. What else do you counter with?
But they might not have been in the same deck. It might have been one player was... Oh, no, both players had the Lava Hounds because we saw 2 at a time.
So at least one of the player must have had the Rocket in hand while the other player had the Lava Hound. We've been playing 2v2 right before this cast began. We could try that out.
We could, yeah. Probably better than Expo Golem decks that we've been playing, you know?
It got us some wins, man. It got us some wins.
It got us some very emphatic wins, and we also had some very emphatic losses.
Definitely losing chart on both stands, but we were just going for the crown chest anyway.
Yeah. Which today rewarded me nicely with another legendary.
There we go. We got the big announcement on that. He got a legendary off a crown chest. Big congrats over to Simon, but...
To be fair, I have been playing for a very long time, and I feel like that's the first time that's happened.
Hey, it happens once. It happens to none of us sometimes. You're the lucky man today. Focus on the present. Worry about the future tomorrow. This is a situation where, PONOS Sports definitely are thinking of the present right now, feeling very good about the way they controlled the 1v1 now onto the 2v2. They manhandled their opponents right now with FAV Gaming.
Are they going to be able to do it again?
It's just beyond me. Obviously, FAV Gaming called the timeout to, at the least, prevent that from happening again. From getting manhandled by PONOS Sports. But you never know. Maybe they have just another step ahead of thought process that they already thought in their head. We know that, we're going to break their mentality just with that Rocket blowing up the Infernal Dragon, then they're going to be so tilted that we're going to have to call a timeout. Maybe they even expected that part. And after that, not because they didn't call the timeout, I know what we're going to do, right after that play. It's just so impossible to predict now.
Are you trying to say that PONOS Sports has like a psychic on their team?
Oh,
someone who can read tea leaves and, manage the future?
Crazier things have happened in Japan already. In this region, it has been a crazy run of 2 weeks in. We're down to the very last series in this region to see who the best teams are. And so far, we just don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, so we do have PONOS Sports, Mikan Bouya and Fuchi in blue at the bottom. Rad and Yakitori for FAV Gaming at the top of the screen. And we can see that FAV Gaming have gone for a Golem push again.
Lava Hound.
Didn't work well last time, though.
Infernal Dragon. Will he have the Rocket again? Oh, my goodness. Again.
Are we watching a replay right now? Because this is exactly
second Infernal Dragon. Second Infernal Dragon. What's going to happen here, though? Aha!
Still, a lot of damage to that tower is happening, even with that Inferno Dragon on the defense.
And the Golem's taken care of on the left side.
But there is another Golem played down now on the other side. But it is pulled in by that Tombstone again. I don't know if this Golem is wearing glasses, but his sight range is huge.
Oh, another Tombstone being put down as well. So distracting the Golem, and the Dark Prince once again just buying more time for the side of PONOS Sports to make the defense. Barely any damage taken from the blue side here.
However, that Inferno Dragon is still standing. There is still a Golem in front, so it is going to connect.
Oh, that's not a good counter, boy. That's not a good counter to go up against another Inferno Dragon. That's going to get down to 130. What a painful take from PONOS Sports there.
As you can see, you leave that Inferno Dragon and a tower alone, and that tower is not making it out of there most of the time. 130 HP left. That is no shape for that tower to be
It's
in.
gone. It's gone. Just
gone.
by the guard.
Guard. MVP right there. It's not very often you see a guard single-handedly take a tower.
I have to say, FAV Gaming, they thought steps ahead now. Where basically PONOS Sports literally stood static for the timeout duration. They didn't do anything. They didn't change anything. They just kind of kept with the same there, hoping they will win out again. But wow, look at this now. We just might see FAV Gaming pull us back even now. 2 golems being summoned on the left.
Yeah, we have we have a double golem push on one side, a double lava hound push on the other, and that tower is down. But that tower there for PONOS Sports is in so much trouble.
3 crowns. They're going for 3 crowns here. The lava hound is still going for it. The golem is there as well.
History.
Oh, the 2 crowns now going to go over to RAD+Yakitori. Still moving forward here. The lava hound on the left side. What is that? What is the purpose of that?
There is not enough time for this lava hound to connect to the towers.
What a disaster! This is absolutely terrible coming in from the side of the opponents, but I feel like they just lost and just ran out of ideas here. They're just trying rockets all over the place. That's not going to kill off the turret here, and it's gonzo, and it's going to be the dunzo for the side of PONOS Sports. As we see, FAV Gaming taking that timeout well, recovering, and finding a winning formula against pretty much the same deck that brought to you by PONOS Sports.
Yeah, this time they were well prepared to destroy that double lava hound.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Double Inferno Dragon.
Sorry, double golem push. Sorry, I'm getting confused.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, PONOS Sports there, they went again with golem, right?
They went with Lava Hound.
They went with the lava. I'm getting my teams confused.
Yeah,
here.
the PONOS Sport, they're moving upwards with the Lava Hound. First game we saw the Inferno Dragon try to wipe it over, but we saw the rocket come through. Now we're kind of doing rewinding in time. But we saw this time, we saw FAV Gaming pull out double Inferno Dragon. That was the difference right there. Because even with the first rocket destroying their first Inferno Dragon, the second Inferno Dragon came out having really much of a better defensive tool against the Lava Hounds, even if there's 2 of them.
And then it connected onto the tower and took that tower to work, right? Yeah, okay. So, because both games are almost the same, but with different results, it's hard for me to remember who's on whose side. But that Inferno Dragon connecting onto that tower, taking it down from full health to 130 HP, with next to no defense being there. The 2 Golemites were almost full HP. Inferno Dragon looks at it as like, I can take this, no problem. Brings it down to 130 HP.
I mean, that was the only difference. The key difference they made was they went from 1 Inferno Dragon to 2 Inferno Dragon. That made the world of a difference. I mean, we were thinking about this earlier. How do you counter against that when you have double Lava Hound just rushing in and you have the rocket ready to go in case the Inferno Dragon show up? Just summon another Inferno Dragon. That was the answer.
And good positioning as well.
I agree.
Because we had the Inferno Dragon summoned right on top of the Lava Hound, and then the second one, once that rocket was launched, was put right in the middle between the 2 kings on the tower. And that just kept it away from the rocket, but in range of the Lava Hound.
Just using that rotation with the sap, trying to make sure the deck is ready to go with the hands here.
We see another golem here for FAV Gaming and a P.E.K.K.A. in response this time for PONOS Sports. We have seen P.E.K.K.A.s do so much work against golems, but the Inferno Dragon is a threat against P.E.K.K.A. She cannot shoot upwards, so that Inferno Dragon will be able to deal so much damage, and a flying machine in defense. And there is the respect.
Oh, he missed.
He missed.
He missed the flying machine. Uh-oh, this is going to be trouble.
Yes, not very often we see a miss at this kind of level, and usually you want to take out that flying machine because it is such a good defensive tool, and he missed the fireball.
They have to use another 4 elixir just to get the poison to kill out the flying machine before it does any more defensive strats. And what are we going to see here? Is this going to be the snowball we're seeing from PONOS Sports? That was a big mistake coming from FAV Gaming, missing that fireball.
Yeah, unfortunately for PONOS, FAV Gaming were ready for that miner, which means that the P.E.K.K.A. didn't go towards the tower. If that P.E.K.K.A. had gone near the tower, that would have been terrible, terrible damage. Using the miner to soak up the damage as the P.E.K.K.A. walks forward, managing to reach that tower, but didn't happen this game.
Gonna see if that trade out does benefit PONOS a little bit more, as we see the P.E.K.K.A. being summoned as a counter to the Golem being summoned above from FAV Gaming.
Yeah, this time they've decided to support their Golem with the Prince.
Not the Dark Prince.
Not the Dark Prince, the normal Prince.
He's going to have a melee damage, mostly going against the P.E.K.K.A here, but P.E.K.K.A's obviously a lot stronger than it seems. He's going to take down the Prince relatively easy. Now the next target is towards the Golem.
Yeah, one of the interesting things there, we saw the P.E.K.K.A just targeted the Prince and not the Golem, which actually should have worked out in the favor of FAV Gaming.
Oh, look
but
at
it
this,
didn't.
Dark
But the
Prince.
Golem still went down, and there is so much going on right now. Bats.
Oh,
we see
the freeze! The Inferno is going to be going forward with the Lava Hound, and still so much damage done without it being destroyed. Oh, we're going to see the first tower go down.
What a
Great
fireball.
fireball coming in from FAV Gaming. What a 1-2, really killed off all the units single-handedly with a relatively cheap 4 elixir summon there.
Brilliant fireball, just taking out so much elixir. It gives so much of an advantage here to FAV Gaming.
Yeah, we can see FAV Gaming just rotating here now. They're going all in on the left side with the 2 golems, but P.E.K.K.A has been summoned.
This did work for them last time when they summoned those double golems. It was a very difficult push to finish, and it looks like it's going to happen again. Raging up those golems so they move so much quicker, but
the Tombstone.
Tombstone pulling away that golem. P.E.K.K.A isn't turned around yet. She wasn't fighting the golem, so it was all up to the Dark Prince, who does get fireballed. Miner here needed to be able to defend this, but there is so much coming here.
This doesn't look good as we see the freeze coming adjusted by time, but I don't know if he has additional units to save against this attack. The overtime coming through, still the poison being put out just to make sure the defensive units are not as effective. This can become very, very close. We see a lot of spell rotation. Both players do have the fireball. Can use that. Just another golden push to finish out the end here.
Yeah, at this point in time, every little damage is going to put you further and further ahead. It's going to make your position even stronger.
Oh,
and the poison's dropping down on that tower at the bottom left. It's just so important.
Oh, 557 to 504. The Prince going to make a charge. He was going to be stopped right there just momentarily. 259 on the tower count, though. It's going to be very impressive, but that was going to be the fireball to end it on FAV. Come back, as we thought they were going to be furiously behind after that first game defeat. They come back after a loss in 1v1. Now they get their win in 2v2, and we're going to go into the ace match for the very first time of the day.
Yeah, I was going to say the very first time in the Japanese region as
well. I think
well,
it might be,
there were no ace matches last week.
You're right.
We just had a draw, which made it seem like there was this ace match because we went on for 4 sets. But we are going to get down, and we have to decide, who do you think these teams are going to put out? I can definitely see Raiki Jones coming from PONOS because he played so well in that first set.
What about RAD? What about RAD from FAV Gaming? I just put that on the line because, you know, he's been so consistent for his team across 2 weeks, and he's had the more experience in this competitive stage. He feels like he can be that one to really make it forward here. Player selection, 2 minutes allotted to make the choice here. Of course, the choice will be made amongst the 3 players that haven't played so far.
Yeah, I just want to point out, RAD has played Amaterasu from Game With, and he ended up losing that game. He played, who was it from Detonation? Let me just double check. He played Ku from Detonation and won both games. So RAD is definitely a very strong 1v1 choice here. And he did play in the 2v2, which means he is eligible for this match, for this set. So we could be seeing Raiki Jones versus RAD, and that would be an incredible matchup after the way Raiki Jones played the first time, the way RAD played against Detonation Gaming last week, where he was using Bandits, Battering Ram, Inferno Dragon as his win condition. And in the second game, he used the Ram again with 3 Musketeers this time to take that second win.
Do have 1 more minute for both teams to make a decision on who their savior is going to be, who the closer pitcher is going to be, because everything comes down to this one. It's about that one last set. 1v1 between the best of the best for both teams to really decide who the winner is going to be, who's going to take additional win as a closer of this Japanese region qualifiers, and who's going to suffer another defeat, taking another L on the record book there.
Yeah, it's so hard at this point to be able to choose between the two teams. Which player do you put your faith in? We saw Raiki Jones play really, really well in his 1v1 earlier. Maybe Fuchi great 1v1 player. We're just not sure. Fuchi actually lost both his games last week, so probably won't be putting Fuchi out. But maybe Mikan. We're not sure. Mikan might be really, really good. And then for FAV Gaming, Kentsumeshi lost his first game in convincing fashion.
Yep.
RAD, 1-1, lost 1. Yakitori hasn't played a 1v1 yet, so PONOS Sports won't know what to ban against him. But they know maybe against RAD we can ban the battering ram.
Sure.
So at this point, it's really hard to guess which team, which player each team is going to put out.
We're going to go stage by stage and step by step as to what we're going to be seeing in the process with things. But the first process, obviously, is to select the players and select the players you're going to be selecting out to make sure you represent the team correctly. And we kind of have an answer for PONOS Sport. We feel like it will be Raiki Jones, but it very well could be coming from RAD. Yeah, Raiki Jones, it really could be over both sides, and FAV Gaming could see the RAD coming out for their team again.
Yeah, we're just waiting on confirmation on who has been picked for these teams. I don't know if we're going to see Fuchi after he lost 2-0 last week.
I don't think so either.
I definitely think at the way that Raiki played at the beginning, he should be PONOS Sports' choice. But we do need to wait for confirmation. And here we go.
Mikan bouya.
It is Mikan bouya versus Yakitori. Both these players haven't played 1v1 yet.
Okay.
Very
Yakitori is an
choice.
interesting pick too. It's like he made his debut today in the Japanese region qualifiers. Feels like the fresh dog is ready to go to make sure he has the freshest of cleans, and he wants to make the performance that counts. And here he is, Yakitori, after going through not playing week 1. He's now in week 2, making his first appearance. 2-2, very nice result for that. But he's back again after such a successful run, trying to feel like he's the one to save his team to another victory.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that Raiki Jones wasn't chosen. They have put faith in Mikan here, and I'm surprised that RAD wasn't chosen for FAV Gaming. Yakitori and Mikan both feel like they're playing the rookie to take the penalty kick that decides the final, the finals, right? Yeah. It's the last kick of the penalties. Both these players are kind of their debuts. It's a very risky thing to do at this point. They don't have the experience under the cameras for 1v1, but let's see what happens.
I mean, interesting because it's a similar decision being made by both teams. That's what makes it more interesting, because Mikan bouya, obviously, you had said you haven't really seen him at 1v1. It's the first experience for him, obviously, in this big stage competitively. You can see him thinking through his head what's the best way forward, but he's going to be up against Yakitori, player we haven't seen at all at week 1. Comes back in week 2 with a better standing and better reputation for what he can produce on the playfield.
Yeah, Mikan has only played 2v2 so far, and he's always played with Fuchi. So we're going to be seeing the ban cards.
Wow.
Expo and Tornado. That Expo ban again here for PONOS Sports, and a Tornado ban in 1v1. We don't usually see that.
Both are quite odd. Both are quite odd. I mean, Expo, for its own reason, obviously, it's not the most commonly picked card for anybody. And you feel like if Yakitori is that kind of guy that really utilizes the Expo, we just never know. We didn't get that information, but he just might be. But the information behind the Expo is rather unknown. But that Tornado is becoming a more interesting band itself.
Yeah, usually we see the Tornado band when someone is going for Hog Riders. It's easy to pull that Hog Rider down into the Crown Tower and activate it. Goblin Gang is another one that we usually see because you cannot Tornado that. Tornado is a really good spell at pulling things into your Crown Tower, making sure that your Executioner or your Dark Prince will deal max damage. Tornado ban though? I'm not sure about a Tornado ban in 1v1.
Will we see a huge Hog Rider deck for Yakitori? If that was the case there, then could be interesting to see, because we haven't really seen a Hog Rider-centric deck in quite a long time, especially in 1v1.
We saw one earlier today, no? With the Frost Golem in front, Hog Rider behind it, and it got like 6-7 hits on the tower.
Yeah.
So we have seen it today, but I don't know if we're going to see it again. Like, Hog Rider is a very specific kind of deck.
Yeah.
And Yakitori here, favorite card, the Rocket. Now remember, the favorite cards, you can choose any favorite card. It doesn't have to be the cards you use the most. Because we have seen Bomb Tower in there, and you know?
Hey, I've seen a Bomb Tower in my casual game today, so you can't argue against that anymore.
I'm still going to argue it. Like, we just don't see it often, is what I mean. Like,
fair statement.
Out of all the pro games I've watched, the CCGS last year, so far in the Clash Royale League Asia, I can count on one hand how many times I've seen a Bomb Tower. 0.
Wow.
0 times. I saw it in one show match 2v2, and it was banned. They banned it in a show match 2v2. That's the only time I've seen a Bomb Tower in anything. I even forgot what the image looks like.
I mean, at least we know we're not gonna see a Bomb Tower being banned here. So, being played, I don't know. Gonna have to find out. But Expo being banned, it's a weird spectacle in itself. Obviously, the tornado adds to the indication that we might see some type of a full rush deck from Yakitori. But it's only our speculation. We're gonna have to see and wait to find out for ourselves once the game actually begins.
Yeah, we do have about 20 seconds before this game will be ready to start. They're currently changing their decks, so maybe the Expo ban was very well targeted because they seem to be in a lot of discussion here. Maybe they have to make these changes to the decks.
Could be the games to decide it all here for FAV Gaming, who have done a really good to make sure they make a comeback on a situation very difficult against them. Obviously, PONOS Sports winning out at 1v1 became more difficult when the first game of 2v2 went against them as well in such a heartbreaking fashion. So now they're on to this long journey of comebacks. Literally a reverse sweep is on the way if they can get this done on this ace match.
Yeah, and I have to say, Mikan does look incredibly nervous. Yakitori just, you know, kind of looks, yeah, all right, I'm about to play some Clash Royale. But Mikan, I don't know, man, he looks a bit nervous. Calming himself down here with a little bit of meditation, making sure that he's ready mentally as well as physically for the game. But Yakitori just looks like it's another day of Clash Royale for him.
A lot is on the line. It is the difference between whether you can take another win in the record book for your regional qualifiers, or it's going to be used as a player, giving your team another loss, which would be heavily dismeanor when it comes to the reputation of your team. You move forward and face off the other teams in the regions to come.
Yeah, Miner there does connect with the Dark Prince instead of the tower. Yakitori there, not the greatest of starts. You always want that Miner to connect to the tower. Mikan Bouya, though, does summon that Prince at the back. It is going to connect with the Ice Golem, and then it's going to take out that Musketeer.
It's not going to have the support coming in from the Prince's tower to help the Prince out in that perspective. Okay, so
great prediction on that log.
But still, it was only a guard, so it was still able to defend out quite handily. So I get the idea, but obviously we're not seeing much Skeletons or Goblin gangs being played much nowadays. It's mostly been about the guard because the reliable shields allow that kind of play to become malleable.
Yeah, but it's still a decent trade, a log for a guard. It's still 1+ elixir. You know, it's valuable.
Sure.
We see the Giant here for Mikan Bouya. What is he going to build up behind this? I'm going to guess double Prince. Once he gets to 9 elixir, we're going to see the Dark Prince. And then the Prince drop down slightly in a second. But that Miner might change plans here. But it doesn't. He does play that Prince on the other side. So Dark Prince on the right-hand side with the Golem taking in the tower.
Oh, the Hunter
dealing so much damage to that Giant, though. Incredible play. We don't see many Hunters, to be honest.
We don't, but we're going to be seeing this Prince making a rush. The first charge comes in, second knock comes in, the third knock comes in, fourth knock, and that will destroy the tower. And all of a sudden, wow, Mikan Bouya got that done in a hurry.
Yeah, Yakitori's hands were off the device. Like, why did he not have anything to defend that? The charge came in, dealt so much damage, and then he gets 3 hits, and he gets a charge onto the King Tower. What is happening to Yakitori?
We thought it was Mikan Bouya being the one nervous here, but Yakitori, wow, having no answers for that Prince coming in.
Yeah, we do see The Hunter here dealing so much damage. It does get fireballed. No Giant
again.
to stand in front, but the Miner.
Oh, look at this. The Prince rushing in once again. No defense for him right now. Just to see the Ice Spirit to slow him down with the Hunter. Finally making the exit for the Prince there, but what are you supposed to do if you're the side of Yakitori when you have one turret down? How can you defend this from coming back a little bit further?
Poison Miner. Great combo, but I don't think he can deal that much damage in 10 seconds, but we do have to wait and see. 726 HP on that tower. Too much to defend.
Oh, look at this, the Dark Prince. The Dark Prince, if just left alone, if he had more time, the second tower would have gone in a hurry. And wow, bouya showing what is up by getting that really good performance on that 1v1.
Yeah, Yakitori, I don't want to say a mistake, but he never really tried to defend. Like, that Prince connecting with the tower was huge.
Yeah.
That Prince hitting 3 more times, that's even bigger. The Prince going further on and charging into the King Tower? What is going on? That should never happen.
I mean, I can't recall to that exact situation where did he have the elixir to defend with any units?
I think he had about 4 elixir after the charge.
Then put any units up front.
Exactly. Anything would have helped just to stop that charge damage, because that charge damage is so big.
To be fair, I felt like Yakitori, you did use a lot of elixirs prior to that charge coming in. So that's why I was asking you whether, you know, any elixirs were available for Yakitori to make that defense. But if that wasn't, obviously, it's understandable why he took all that damage, because after you take that charge, even if you summon something in front of it, it's still going to go for the tower most likely. And this is a big enough unit that just kind of moves it away from it. But that's what we just saw coming in from Yakitori. Didn't really put up any defense there. Almost even giving up just on the tower.
Yeah, getting 1 hit with the charge, so getting charged plus 1 extra hit with a Prince, that's big. Right? That's normally as much as you will get with a Prince at this level. But here, 3 hits, I just can't get over it. Hopefully Yakitori now has had a second. He's played one game. He's like, okay, that's the nerves out the way. I'm ready to come in. I'm ready to play my game. Yakitori now drops the Ice Golem and the guards at the top of the screen in red. Bouya, though, counters with the Goblin Gang. First time I think we've seen it today, maybe the second. But Skeleton Balloon as well. But plays it in front of where that Musketeer is. Not the best decision, especially with the Hunter there. Again, Hunter being played. Pretty sure I've only seen Yakitori play Hunter.
Seen it in Southeast Asia a couple of times. Gotta look at Korea as well, see if that's a good play.
Yeah, and you can see the Tornado not in play means you can put that Miner anywhere around the tower without really fearing it getting pulled into the center. You can see the Royal Ghost here just taking out the Ice Golem. He's going to get 1 hit onto the tower and then die. Pretty even Stevens right now.
See the Skeleton Barrel being summoned here on the left side for Bouya.
Yeah, and again, Musketeer here will take quick care of the balloon. Prince coming in. Ice Spirit does freeze it in place.
Oh, nice guards coming in.
Guards coming in. Makes it much more difficult for this Prince to move forward here. It is going to fall. And now we do have Ice Golem. There is the Royal Giant to take out the Musketeer. But that Miner is going to work. Digging through that bottom right-hand tower.
Okay, look at this Miner. It's not going to be answered quite well. That poison is not even going to target on the Miner in hand.
Oh, this is so much damage. Miner, then the Royal Giant, then the Spear Goblin behind. Does way too much damage. And Yakitori once again on the defense just didn't have the elixir there this time, but still shouldn't be taking that much damage. He needs to be a lot better at managing his elixir.
Yakitori just trying to go on the counter attack here. Make sure he can get the damage back done on the side.
There's the Miner. Hunter this time played straight away, takes out that Miner in 2 hits. Very good counter to that, but it will drop to the poison damage here.
Hey, look at the skeleton barrel. Oh, he missed it. He missed the zap. He missed the zap in time, and that is going to be a huge mistake. We saw it earlier for a first series. It happens again. The zap coming in just a little bit early before the skeletons drop from the barrel, and we're going to see just a free tower going over to the left.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't look like Yakitori is going to have the time here to be able to come back into this game, and Mikan bouya is going to take it. He knows it. We know it.
Wow.
Mikan bouya closes this set. PONOS Sports taking the game over FAV Gaming. We were not expecting this coming into this morning.
Who would have thought that skeleton barrel would have been a difference maker? It happens again. The zap is ready. It's just a direct. It's the most direct counter you can have to a skeleton barrel once it starts landing. No matter how many skeletons there are, if you're in that range, perfect range for the zap to just get rid of all the skeletons as soon as it lands.
You can even wait half a second more for those skeletons to touch the floor before zapping it. Sure, you'll get 1 or 2 hits, but it's way better than what happened here.
Yeah.
So we're just going to get a quick replay. We can see the poisons taking out the Goblin Gang.
Happens right here, right after that rotation. When the next skeleton barrel comes apart, this is when it happens.
Yeah, that Dark Goblin, really, really popular. Here we go. So you can see
right here.
It comes in.
Everything's taken care of. Look at this.
Yeah,
Everything's
poison
gone.
takes out that
no
hunter
problem.
so quickly.
No problem. Right there.
That zap was way too early. If he waited just that little bit more. Yakitori, that was a big misplay.
That was a big mistake coming in from Yakitori.
And that, he couldn't push. He couldn't do anything after that.
Losing that tower, already you lost you the game. Literally 10 seconds left after that. What are you supposed to do?
There's nothing. It's so hard when you're building up a push to deal that much damage in the time remaining. And we are going to go to an interview with PONOS.
Let's hear a few words from the team. Mikan bouya. It was amazing. Everyone trusted me when they selected me as an ace set. Well, normally, when it was an ace set, I normally go for the team, so I represent the team. And they selected me again, so I'm very glad that they have selected me as the final. From the beginning, there was a very aggressive attack on the beginning. From the opponents, I like to predict what the other components are doing and predict an attack. So that's my favorite play. So I predicted what the opponent was going to play, what the decks that they were going to play, and I think that helped me. I've missed in the very beginning, but I was able to come back to it and win the game as well. Honestly, against the Tank God and Mikan game, I almost cried. I was very happy. My performance is the worst amongst the team, so I'm very glad our team was able to make up for it. Tank God? The other 3 players on the team did very well today, so I was able to trust them, and I was very relieved. PONOS Sports, thank you very much.
So that seems like to the end of the interview there. Very proud PONOS Sports there, pulling off a surprising win once again, something that we didn't expect or predict.
Yeah, FAV Gaming being 1 and 2 now. Wow.
Wow. Look at that. The result is an absolute mess in the best of ways, Simon.
It is. No one here would have predicted this. PONOS Sports beating Detonation Gaming. That's probably the only one we could have predicted. But then Detonation Gaming taking game with, and then PONOS Sports taking FAV Gaming. I don't think there is a soul out there that would have predicted those results.
PONOS Sports came into week 2 with no wins. Of course, they only had 1 set to play, but they lost quite handily. So we thought in week 2, them and Detonation Gaming, maybe there's an edge between one of the 2 teams, and maybe they'll just lose the other game. 2 wins on the day for PONOS Sports. Incredible.
Yeah, and we can see the standings now. 3-0 Bren Esports, 3-0 Kingzone Dragon X, and then Japan. No 3-0 team, 2-1. Not really much of a disadvantage at this point, though, because there are still so many games to play.
I feel like this is the most evenly matched region when it comes to all 4 teams competing almost at the same level now. Detonation Gaming are not a bad team anymore. We once thought they were, but after week 2, their performance today showed us they're no longer a weaker team.
Their performance in match 2, their performance in match 1 still confirms. But we can see week 3's matches. We can see OGN enters versus Game with OPGG Skeleton versus PONOS Sports and Sandbox versus FAV Gaming next Friday. I cannot wait to watch Sandbox and OPGG Skeleton.
That becomes a very exciting day. Korea versus Japan for Clash Royale League Asia. It's happening next Friday. Everything will be on the line. The pride will be on the line. And this is where we start forming the flame around the 2 regions to see who's really truly the dominant region.
Yeah, I cannot wait for Japan versus Korea.
It's going to be amazing.
There is so much like on stake there, the pride of the country between these 2 countries. It's going to be explosive. But you have to tune in next Friday. 7 p.m. is it?
Yeah, 7 p.m. It's going to be me and G-Clef with Simon taking a break for a day. He'll be coming back Saturday and Sunday to give us more action. But it's going to be very exciting days of Clash Royale. I can guarantee you on that one.
Yeah, I cannot wait for you to watch live the Korean teams play because they're so good most of the time.
I haven't seen them yet.
I know.
Only seen them on television, and now I get to see them on live, casting over them. It's going to be excitement to watch.
Can't wait. Can't wait to watch that. Watch and listen to you and G-Clef cast that game. It's going to be good fun next Friday.
It really is, and we don't have much time until we get there. We get about just a week of general week, and we have to always come back on the weekends to enjoy all the Clash Royale action, as we do have it on every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, knowing that those 3 days you can cover just to make sure you have all the Clash Royale action on the day. So go back to school, go back to work, whatever, but come back on Friday, and we'll give you all the Clash Royale Asia action back on the way.
Yeah. Every weekend we're here for the next, I think, 2 months.
Yeah, it's going to be a long time. You know, we got a lot of games to play over the months, and as the times go by, as each week passes, we'll kind of get a better understanding of who the stronger region are, and maybe get a little less confusion as we did today.
Hopefully we don't get the same level of confusion, because we want to be able to predict who is going to be the strongest out of these regions, because we want to know, we're going to fight over who gets to cast the matches we're most excited for.
I agree, and we're talking about just Asia at the moment, because we're showing you that with both of us, we get to cast the Japan region, and we just don't know if they're the strongest quite yet. But we're going to find out next Friday if Japan is stronger than Korea, as we return to me and G-Clef, who's going to be covering the action. So we'll return at 7 p.m. local time, and we'll see you then for Korea versus Japan.